Welcome to Waterway. I'm Henry Dubinsky, the company president. As a new employee, you are joining many others who've worked for Waterway since 1970 when we opened our first unit. Your part in Waterway's success is vitally important to serve your customers and ours in such a way that they will want to return to us time after time. Providing that service requires you to understand what we offer to customers, how to serve them, and how to appear when serving them. Waterway's car washes are located in many parts of the St. Louis area. Taken together, they maintain an image of excellent equipment, clean appearance, and well-trained, well-groomed employees. We are sure that you will fit into the Waterway team and will help us to continue to be as good as we are today. Good luck.
The best car washes in town use water and over, under, all around. Soap with a high activity rate to penetrate the grime. And special new blue cloth brushes for soft and easy no-scratch scrubbing. And there's a rust-protecting underspray available. And the new Gleam Wax that's actually buffed in. And plenty of hands to wipe and polish and vacuum. That's what happens at Waterway Gas and Wash, the best car washes in town.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Car Wash Magazine Live. I am your host, Matt DeWolf, Editor-in-Chief of Car Wash Magazine. Welcome to the program, everybody. I am super excited for today. I'm super excited for every show we do. This is one of my favorite things to be a part of, and I'm appreciative for you all tuning in and taking part in this conversation. Speaking of that, I want to make sure that you all are taking part of this conversation, and so in the comments below, if you have questions that you need answered, I can guarantee we will ask that question for the most part, as long as it's appropriate. Answers are not guaranteed, but we can provide them. We are going to have a great treat for you guys on the show this day on Thursday here. We've got Bob Dubinsky from Waterway Carwash joining us in the video role. If you missed it, you all just missed a lot of vintage car wash stuff from Waterway. That's a 50th anniversary video here showcasing some of the history of Waterway and super fun video content in there. We'll share that out after this program at some point for you guys too. But they were one of the original groups to offer unlimited plans, and so get your questions ready for that. We can talk about that later in the program. First things first, I want to make sure you guys are aware of a couple important dates, one of which is October 15th. That is 1 week from today, my friends. If you are interested in the Women in Leadership Certificate Program, make sure you get your application in. That deadline is next Thursday, October 15th. It's a great opportunity for the women in your organization to kind of elevate their experience and continue their professional development. So check that out. The other one, my favorite thing on the planet, is the Car Wash Show 2021, November 15th through 17th. Those are the dates in Las Vegas. It's going to be a great show, you guys. It's going to be something like you've never seen before. So make sure you stay in the know with that. Mark that on your calendars, and we'll be sending out more information about that as we have it. All right. The other thing I'm really excited about, you guys, is that I got my notification yesterday from UPS that my advance copies of the latest issue of Car Wash Magazine are coming. And so normally I'm like a little kid sitting at the front step waiting for the UPS driver to show up, but I'm here with you guys today. So you may hear a dog bark. I might just leave and go get my magazine copies. So for that, I'm going to say sorry in advance. It's one of my favorite days. But if you are on the mailing list, you're going to be getting that publication in the next week or so. I get my copies first because I get to make the thing. But the only way to make sure you get all 4 issues of that magazine in the print version every year is to make sure that you are a member of the International Car Wash Association. And so you can do that at the link right here, carwash.org/join. Make sure your membership is current and you get that copy of the magazine, and you get to experience Car Wash Magazine Day. It's a great day. All right, the other thing I want to make sure I'm talking to you guys about today is the latest episode of Car Wash the Podcast. I'm sporting my swag shirt today from our latest guest, Dave Edwards. He's talking on yesterday's episode and next week's episode. It's a two-parter, talking about creative ways to market and promote and add profit centers to your in-bay automatic operations and your self-serves. So Dave's a relatively new entrant into the car wash industry, been around for about 5 years now. Good conversation. He talks with David Begin. Check that out anywhere that you guys consume your podcasts. For easy listening, go to carwashthepodcast.com. All right. Last week we had the opportunity to visit with Mark Curtis. So this is a a super fun guy in this industry. If you don't know Mark, you need to get to know Mark. And then we also got to talk about Grace for Vets. So we talked about holiday marketing a couple weeks ago. We talked about Grace for Vets and that program and how you can get involved with that. In case you missed it, I'm going to let you guys hear from Mark Curtis himself on this one. Check it out. What is it? Where did it come from? Why are we doing it?
Oh, Grace for Vets is a great organization. It was an organization started by Mike Mounts, who was an operator down in the Pennsylvania area, had 4 locations down there. He was also a veteran. So in 2003, Mike started Grace for Vets, which was simply an organization to pull car washes together to get them to give vets and active duty personnel a free car wash on Veterans Day, November 11th each year. And the first year in 2003, he started out with 3 washes, his 3 washes. And last year in 2019, it had grown to over 4,400 car wash locations participating. And we washed close to 350,000 cars for free. The only thing in signing up for Grace for Vets, you can sign up at graceforvets.org. What that does is it basically allows people that are interested in the event to find out what car washes are giving vets free car washes on November 11th. And so by signing up your wash and your addresses, they can go in, pick on the state, pick on the town, and see what washes are participating in Grace for Vets.
What kind of resources do I get from Grace for Vets to help me kind of promote this thing, or is it on my own? Like, how does that work?
Well, it's a little bit of both. There are press releases, sample press releases on graceforvets.org that you can use to contact your local paper. We do a broad-based press release as well as Facebook advertising on a broad base. But I recommend that people get involved locally by contacting their local VFWs, vets organizations, put it on their Facebook page or their website that they're participating. There's some operators that really take this to the nth degree. I'm thinking about Jeff Copeland, Matt and Jeff's out in California. They put up a huge, it must be 20 by 6 banner in front of their wash. It's amazing. They do a huge number of free vets cars that day, but everybody driving by the wash gets to see what they're doing for the vets. And I think that just increases their goodwill immensely.
All right, that was, in case you missed it, that was Mark Curtis talking about Grace for Vets. If you're interested in signing up for that, go to graceforvets.org. That link, it was down here. I changed it because it's time for the next part of this program today. We got jokes. I'm going to apologize in advance for this one. I just came up with this one this morning, and so we're going to roll with it because until you send me your jokes, you are stuck with mine. All right, so you guys should know this one because you all kind of fall into this category, or a lot of you do at least. Tell me, what university do professional pit cleaners go to? PU, of course. Hey. All right, well, you know, I warn you guys. Every week I warn you that you are stuck with my jokes until you send me yours. Without further ado, let's get on with the meat of this operation, shall we? We're going to check out a quick video here from Waterway Carwash.
We chose to bring what we thought would be a more professional approach to the industry. We figured it was a way to differentiate ourselves.
You want to be differentiated and special in a way that's valuable to the customers who you're trying to attract.
We were kind of the pioneers of unlimited wash programs, and that's a huge part of our base of customers.
For a long time, people used to laugh at us and say, you can't possibly make money on a program where you let people wash their cars as much as they want. Eventually, somebody decided that I was right. And so today we have unlimited programs throughout the industry.
When I am stopped by Waterway customers, 99 times out of 100, they say, "You just have the most amazing people. I can't believe it. How do you do it?"
We have career development paths for line associates all the way up through management. It's always very clear what people need to do to be successful. Working for Waterway isn't just about working at a car wash, it's about learning and developing yourself and your skills. By focusing on the development and growth of the people that work for us, it creates a talent pool that puts us in a good position for us to expand and grow and add new stores.
You're only as good as your last clean window. And that customers come in for us to clean their car and also be really nice to them. And everything has to come back to that. And if you can do those things, then the rest of the business is going to work.
All right, welcome to the program, Bob Dubinsky. Welcome. How are you?
I am great, Matt. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and looking forward to sharing a little bit about Waterway.
Hey, we're excited to have you as well. We just gave everybody kind of an overview of Waterway, at least what we have as an overview. Everybody got to hear from your dad a little bit in that video about how you all started the Unlimited Clubs. But let's just back up a little bit, and maybe you can give us an updated version of what Waterway's up to, kind of your background in the industry, and just kind of introduce everybody to you and your brand.
Sure. Waterway dates to August 1970 in St. Louis. My dad was in his late 20s and started the company with some friends at that point. It was free exterior car wash with a fill-up. And now 50 years later, we are largely a full service company. We have 25 stores and growing, a couple thousand employees. We have gas, so we sell gas almost everywhere. And also have convenience stores as part of the core Waterway concept.
Interesting. And you all, your growth has been recent. I mean, we saw at the top of the program, we saw a video from the 80s where you guys were at 11. And then the numbers that were in the video that we shared were a couple years old, and that was at 22, I believe. And so now you guys are up to 25. Is that correct?
Yep. And we have a couple others that will open later this year. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's exciting stuff, and that kind of follows with the trend in the industry right now in terms of people are growing. At least the people who want to grow are growing. Can you talk a little bit about just your all's growth strategy and your approach to that?
Sure, absolutely. I think we are eager to grow. We think that a good, healthy company is always growing. It's critical for the team to be part of a growing company. We're always excited when we can take our concept to new places and serve new customers. But I think the growth we're kind of careful and gradual as well. I don't think we've been here for 50 years. We'd like to be here for another 50 years. We don't think we need to get it all at once.
Yeah, there is something to be said for that approach. The other thing that I think is really interesting about how you all specifically approach growth is it's not a partner strategy, right? I mean, last week we talked to Mark Curtis, and it was a different kind of approach to growth. You all of your growth is an internal kind of an organic, if you will, approach. Can you just kind of talk about that a little bit for me?
Sure. I think because of our the pace that's comfortable for us, we're able to finance all of our growth internally. We don't need to bring in new partners. So I think that's an aspect of it. If we wanted to grow much faster, we might need to have new partners. But I think also probably the biggest driver or two drivers around the quality and care of what we do is something that we feel we can't do at a breakneck speed. But I think also we're just a little different, and our approach to people, our approach to service, our approach to kind kind of infrastructure and process, and I think we wouldn't want somebody to come in and kind of mess that up, right? So
Right.
we like what we do. We're successful at it, we think, and we want to kind of grow in our terms.
Well, and part of that too is this idea of this long range view of your business and your industry, right? And we'll get to that a little bit more in just a second. But because of that long range view that you all have, there's kind of like three different buckets of this growth strategy. There's this piece of it that you're doing it organically because so you can control the pace and you can really do it the way that you want to do it. But there's also you all are also doing some diversification in terms of models. Can you talk about how that fits in your growth?
Sure. Yeah. So we're hardcore full service people. I think if a store doesn't have 75 or 100 team members, we worry that we can't have fun doing it that way. So I think as we looked at what was going on in the industry, and that has always worked for us, and particularly because the people-centric focus lets us be in a position where we can have unique and high impact on the customers. So there's kind of a natural connection there within full service. A number of years ago, we added the ride-through option. So at all of our full-service stores, you can either have the traditional full-service business or a ride-through for an exterior. As we were adding that to our stores, we obviously look around the industry and see all the success people are having with Express Exterior. And so, we spent some time figuring out whether we should enter that segment, and if we did it, how we should do it, and particular with a focus on how we can be differentiated and do it differently in a way that's special, and then do it in the way that's appropriate for Waterway, particularly with respect to having high impact with our people.
Yeah, and so I'm showing everybody right now some video that you all shared with us of one of those express locations that you're doing, and I think it's so beautiful the way that you guys have taken your approach from the full service side and applied that in this express side, and it really fits with the clean and kind of airy brand that you guys kind of purvey, and I love that. Folks are seeing right now just the internal vacuum bays in this thing, and it's beautiful. I mean, that is a beautiful look. So congratulations and kudos to you guys for all of the work that goes into that. I think it's super interesting though that you guys have, so you have organic growth, you have model diversification now that you're getting in a little bit into some of the expresses and offering some of those express services. Talk to me a little bit about geography and how much of a role that plays or does not play in what you guys are doing from a growth perspective.
Right. Well, that's a big part of what we do. I think that in some ways our ability to operate successfully across multiple markets, particularly in the full service business, is really unique. And there's sort of two reasons why we've done that. I think that when we develop a new site, we want every new site to be fantastic and be a home run. And so as part of finding sites that have that upside, we know that we have to look beyond the markets we're in. So when we find a market that we're not in, where we find that great opportunity, and then we look internally at the company and find a operating leader who's ready to go out front and lead, be a pioneer in that new market, and we can put those two things together, we feel like we have a great recipe for success. And so most recently in Chicago or in Cleveland, that's exactly what happened. We found some great sites. We had some people internally who were ready to really lead and become a managing partner for us in those markets, and we put that together, and we plan to do that in other markets going forward. So,
and that all rolls up to what we were talking about with this long range view, right? I mean, it's long range for your company. It's long range about where the industry's going, what the industry's kind of doing, but it's also really long range with your people and being able to have people that you can do that with. Because if you were looking to get out in the next year or two of this industry, you can't develop your people in the same way. Right. So talk about I guess just how you guys approach the people side of it and your long-term view on that.
Sure. Well, two of our 5 core values. One is A players only, and another one is getting better every day. So both of those inform how we think about growing people. Every one of our key operating leaders started drying cars on the front line, either starting when they were in maybe high school or coming right out of college. And that's just a big part of what we do. So at each level, whether it be our hourly associates, our store management, our senior leaders, territory managers, market leaders, we have a plan and a career path for everybody. In particular, our management program, our Learn to Lead program, is a very kind of structured approach to teaching somebody the kind of how to run a business.
Yep.
So that really we don't expect every new management person to stay with us for their whole career, but we expect that their time that they have with us will benefit them. So at the core is this idea of, if we can work with our team members to grow and take have their career develop and improve, that whether they stay with us or not, it's kind of a win-win.
Well, and if folks were able to see the video at the top of the program here, they saw that in 1985 you guys were doing the training. You were putting the investment into making a nice training video to go through what the kind of expectation is and to teach people and bring them along and develop them in ways that not everybody was doing back in the 80s. That's for sure.
Yes.
So Bob, the other thing that came through for me in kind of I had the unique position of, I guess, getting to review a lot of old footage from you all. Things haven't changed that much for you guys in terms of what's core to you. Can you talk about just staying true to kind of what you are over the years, and as things have changed, how you guys really put emphasis on sticking to your core?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of people have read the Good to Great book. Mm-hmm. With this idea of, what's kind of your hedgehog idea and your core principles, and sticking to them. I think that that's us. So if you go all the way back to 1970, there was this idea about a business built on amazing people, mm-hmm. right? And then there was how can we bring a level of a sort of business sophistication and professionalism to how we run the business and how we service the customers. Now, I would say that the thing that we really, really focus on now is car wash sales. And since we were giving car washes away at the beginning, that's changed a little bit. But that idea about focus on people, service, professionalism is 50 years old. And it obviously works in this industry and any industry.
And I love that it carries through for you guys across the board. I mean, it's so prevalent, and I've had the also fortunate position of being able to go and talk to some of the people that have been with Waterway for a number of years, over my years in the industry here, and everybody kind of says the same thing. It's, they all come back to the core values, they all come back to those core principles, and they stay around for a long time, and it's because of that. So I love what you guys are doing on that front. So congratulations there. Before I let you get back to the business of washing cars, Bob, the question I like to ask a lot of people is, what gives you hope, or what kind of keeps you coming back to this industry?
Right. Well, I think it is so exciting. The most important thing for getting me into work every day is the people I work with and how amazing they are, their diversity of ideas and energy and their commitment. But that goes beyond Waterway. I think that the industry right now is seeing this amazing renaissance with new, great people coming in. And I think that, so that's really exciting to be part of that. Frankly, it's a lot of fun to compete against people who are bringing new ideas, who are operating at that level. And so just the sort of people aspect of it, that's what brought me to, back to Waterway originally. And I think that's what makes it, what's going to continue to make it interesting. And it's just such an exciting time for the industry.
Yeah, you see a ton of new stuff all the time coming up now, and that pace is only going to accelerate. So hang on to your seats, so to speak, right? Well, Bob, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. It's been awesome to share your story. I always love talking about Waterway Car Wash. I'm a fanboy. I wish you guys had one in Minneapolis.
Well, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, if you guys are watching the program at home, next week we've got Marcus Kittrell on the program from Mark One Car Wash and Mammoth Holdings, so make sure you check that out. Marcus was one of the, on the flip side of the equation here, one of the first to do express exteriors in the United States. So we'll get that story. We'll talk a lot about some conversions that he did over his years and what Mammoth Holdings looks like. So make sure you tune in next week for that. If you want to watch more previous episodes of this program, you can do that at carwashmagazine.com and check out the previous episodes. Otherwise, that's all I've got for you guys this week. Until next week, while you're out there, keep it clean.